If you're allowed to talk about it, are you an official Blizzard WCR ambassador? I am not an official Blizzard WCR ambassador. And if I was, I would have to talk about it. Let alone being allowed to.
Yes, master.
The way the regulations work, you would have to.
My life for Nazul. My fate is sealed. The damned stand ready.
Because of such rules in the United States. No, I am a willing and unofficial ambassador for the game.
The damned stand ready. Yes, master.
Good evening, Soju's TV. Hey, Noto, Varius. I was just thinking about how much I miss the HOTS community. I don't have any HOTS in my streaming schedule right now. I'm really sorry. I miss you guys, but I don't currently miss the game too much. I'll probably play around new content releases. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I'm really excited these days about playing Warcraft 3. So yeah, that's the situation right now. Feel free to tune in anytime.
I gladly obey.
You're always welcome.
My blood be spilled. I bid it.
Hey, Philmaster, what's up?
Where shall my blood be spilled? I bow to your will. My life for
I heard, I couldn't find the news, but I heard they're changing placements from 10 games to 3. But I feel like they should just be removed entirely. Am I going competitive again in Reforged? I mean, never say never. But I don't have any plans to do so. I'd rather cast and stream and make guides and, you know, make help articles and basically everything around it. There are few things that require more of your complete dedication than having children and playing Warcraft 3 competitively.
Where shall my blood be?
Yo, thanks for the sub, Zieth.
Thy bidding.
Thanks for checking in, Notavarius. Hope to see you around.
I bow to your will. See. Where shall my blood be spilled? Thy will be done. My patience has ended. Yeah.
He bought a lot of items. Hello.
I wish only to serve.
Let's look at his tech speed.
At last. I bow.
I need to check with one ghoul to see if he's doing my turtle.
My life for Nazul.
So no grunt yet.
Master. I am the dark.
Did he buy an item? He did not.
Summoning is complete. You call. I bow to your will. Vengeance.
We demand additional lumber. We demand additional
Wish
lumber.
only to serve.
Upgrade complete.
Vengeance is yours. Thy bidding, master. I am the darkness. As you order. My patience has ended. Where shall my blood be spilled?
He's got me fooled, all right.
By Ner'zhul. At last. I am the darkness. Be where shall my blood be spilled? By Ner'zhul. Thy bidding. Our forces are under attack. My patience has ended. Rise or die. My vengeance I bow. As you order. Yeah. Thy bidding, master.
No idea where he went.
My patience has ended.
Oh, he failed. So he got the Ring of Regen on my side, I think.
By Ner'zhul. As you order. Ride or die.
Spending one clarity and one heal salve.
To your call.
Oh no, on his side. Okay, that's pretty smart the way he played that.
My patience has ended. Let battle be joy. Thy bidding, master. My vengeance is yours.
Because the way I saw him walk, I wouldn't have expected that.
Summoning is complete.
Also, I wouldn't have done it that way.
My vengeance is yours. My patience has ended. You call. You ride.
So he's quite committed to harassing me then. That's pretty good for me, I think, all things considering.
You call. My patience has ended. As you order. My life for Nazul. You call. I am the darkness. You call. My vengeance is yours. For the Lich King. At last. My patience has ended. Choice. I am.
Hey, thank you very much, the Shadow Hand. Welcome back, Grub Hype. Thank you, dude.
You call. Vengeance is yours. As you order. Yeah. For the Lich King. Yeah. I am the darkness. My patience has ended. My death summoning is complete. Proceed. I am your choice. My patience has ended.
Our forces are under attack.
Call. As you order. I am. Where shall my blood be spilled? I wish only
I don't want to let him get my
my patience.
watch reward. So I'll check it out. War Mail tier 3, nothing else yet. And Bistry, okay, and Shadow's finished.
Call. I am. Where shall my blood
He must be here.
spilled? My vengeance is
No.
yours.
Oh, there he is. He is here.
Has ended. Yours.
Shadow's coming, so that's bad for me.
Yes, master. You call. As you order. It is destined. Chilling. So be it. My vengeance is yours. Direct me. I am the darkness. I am sworn. Let battle be joy. Thy bidding. You call. I am the darkness. My patience has ended. Thy bidding. My vengeance is yours. Summoning is complete. Darkness. Yours to command. I am the darkness. Thy bidding. I am sworn to at last. As you order. For the Lich King to command. My patience has ended. Can I help you? Call. Let terror reign. My patience has ended. Hello. My vengeance is yours. I am sworn to you call. Bless you. I am the darkness. Embrace the cold. My vengeance is yours. Upgrade. Embrace the darkness. Let battle be joy. I am sworn to my vengeance is yours. You call.
Our
For the
forces
Lich
are
King.
under attack.
Yours to command. My patience has ended. At last. My vengeance is yours. Where shall my blood in the darkness? I am sworn to never. For the Lich King. My patience has ended. At last. Thy vengeance is yours.
Wow, Mascoto.
My patience has ended. By their soul. You call. My patience has ended. You call. Yeah. For the Lich King. First. My vengeance is yours. You call. My patience has ended. My vengeance is yours. Yeah. My patience has ended. I am his life. My vengeance is yours. Let battle ashes. Our force. Let battle my vengeance is yours. You call. My vengeance is yours. At last. Be wrath. Summon more. Call. By their soul. My patience has ended. I am the darkness. For the Lich King, I bow. Yeah. My vengeance is yours. You call. My patience has ended. My vengeance is yours. You call now. At last, yours to command. My vengeance is yours. You call. My patience has ended. I am the darkness. As you order. My vengeance is yours. My patience has ended. Yours to command. Embrace the cold. It is destined. Summoning. So be it. The sleeper is destined. I am destined. It is destined. My vengeance is yours. Our hero has been killed for the Lich King. My vengeance is yours.
Insufficient mana.
Let battle be joy. I am the darkness. You call. I await. My vengeance is yours. Ride or die. Where shall I run? My patience has ended. For the Lich King. I wish I had not served. My vengeance is yours. I am the darkness.
I'm getting an attack upgrade, a sacrificial pit for boneyard, and more statues.
My patience has ended. My vengeance is yours. My patience has ended. I am the darkness. My vengeance is yours. Let battle be joy.
He doesn't have raiders, which is kind of nice.
Vengeance is yours. At last. My patience has ended. Summoning is darkness. Limbo is ready. You call.
Research complete.
My vengeance. I bow to your will. You call. As you order. My patience has ended. I am the darkness. My patience has ended. Ride or die. I am the darkness. My vengeance is yours. I am the darkness. My patience has ended. My vengeance is yours.
He really lacks raiders. So you see the problem when you don't get crowd control ability like Raider and you only rely on Lightning Orb. GG. Nice request. Thank you for letting me play a nice serious game of Undead. His stats was decent. 153 wins, 98 loss. GG. Two Scoops of Funk says, hey Grubby, seeing a lot of arguments against keeping the 12 unit cap. Against keeping. So you mean you see a lot of arguments for raising it, yeah? Do you believe that removing the cap will negatively affect competitive gameplay? I don't think it will have a big effect. It's mostly theoretical. I think it's mostly about the ideology of the Reforged. For SC1 to SC2, it turned it into Death Ball City, but it's also a different game. Also, SC1 is heavily steeped in Korean culture. And, you know, I can't help but try to keep you on Undead for sure, man. And I'm going to send it to YouTube as well. Just going to answer this one, because I think it's really interesting to see what part of Warcraft's identity is playing with the controls. And I think almost all the interesting skill differential is visible for the viewer. So if I surround a unit and a noob can't, then you see that as a viewer. It's exciting to watch. SC1 is exciting to watch because you know how difficult it is when you play it. And when their units move like they're actually smart, you know that so much was going on behind the scenes that you may not see, and that's what makes you impressed with the skill. In Warcraft 3, especially in streams, but even in tournaments, if you've played any measure of it, then you will know when you see surrounds, body blocks, that it's exciting, visually appealing, and that there was skill involved. Don't change that. But very irregularly, I think, do people think, wow, he's moving those amount of units with 3 control groups, with 4 control groups. I wish I could do 3 to 4 unit control groups. So I think if you happen to put it all on one group in multiplayer, the people that do that are going to suffer against me. If I split raiders in a different group and I split walkers in a different group, I'm actually microing more effectively. If someone else is going to try to close the gap to my skill level and play with everything in one group, even though he has fewer actions necessary, he's still going to play worse because of it. That is my main argument against removing the cap. Not that I'm afraid that newbies will catch up to pros, because pros are going to keep different control groups. What I'm afraid of is that when you don't take the average player by the hand and tell them you probably need several control groups in order to micro effectively, they'll never learn it. That's what I'm afraid of. Protecting people from themselves. It's like the famous WoW line. You think you want it, but you don't. Now, few people like to be controlled in that way. The thing is, though, at the moment the cap is 12. So there is a really solid argument for keeping it as it is. Because the cap is at 12, we could just settle down and say it should be 12 forever, because that's how I had to learn it. I don't think it's pride in our skill and a fear of gap closing that motivates the argument mostly. It's mostly a keeping to what we have now is 1, and 2, protect people from bad play. You'd be surprised to know how many good players in SC2 didn't protect themselves from bad play and just used the all army hotkey or put everything in one group. Shall I name some players? Rotterdam, Grubby, and God knows how many other Protosses. And probably non-Protosses too, that just put everything in one group. And then a move. I mean, you'd be shocked to know that I would put sentries together with Colossi, Void Rays, Stalkers, Zealots, all in one group.
RT on BNet.
Reply to Unisec. And you are shocked. Good, good. That's what I predicted. I said you'd be shocked, and you are. And so are you, Chill Sloth. Gilder, yeah, a lot of people shocked. Now, how you should micro it is like Stalkers in one group, Zealots in another. And I did do this as well. But oftentimes, when you move around the map, it was just quicker to do it that way. And SC2 is a higher pace game than Warcraft 3. I did also split my groups as well in SC2, but too often I didn't, and it made me a worse player. Now, knowing what I know about RTS and the competitive scene, I could have chosen to split at any time, and I did try it. The reason I stuck with one group anyway is just because you move around and react faster. In my opinion, SC2 is a little bit too fast of a game, for me at least, and so the main issue that I had is when you don't react instantly to information like Widow Mine hidden, like fungal growth attack, Psystorm. Like, can you imagine a Marine Marauder guy that splits his Marine Marauder in 4 groups, and then he has to react to someone suddenly Psystorming him, and he's like, 1 walk away, 2 walk away, 3 walk away, 4 walk away, instead of just everything in one group. So it was both a crutch and a necessity to react very fast. Warcraft 3 doesn't have as much of a need to walk away very fast. Keep in mind this though. If you take all the units and put them in one group, let's say uncapped unit control group, right? You take them all, put them in one group. It is more of a buff, even though it's a quality of life change. It's more of a buff to some races than to others. Races that typically have the highest unit supply density need it less than low supply density races. For example, Ghoul, Gargoyle, Undead will benefit more from raising the cap of selection than another race. Humans with Footman, Sorc, Priest will benefit more than another race. Flying machines benefit more. Orcs that have 3 supply minimum on almost all their units benefit less. Undead that doesn't play Gulgark but plays Crypt Fiend and Destroyer, their units are 3, 4 or 5 food. 3 Crypt Fiend Statue, 4 is Abomination, 5 is Destroyer, and 7 is Frostworm. The heroes are 5. So Undead and Orc need the cap to be removed much less than a Gulgark Undead, Mad Frog, the old Hasu Ops, Volv from 2004. And also humans need it more. And for Night Elves it depends. Generally Night Elf mass a lot these days, but it's 3 food massing, sometimes 2. But they also have a lot of 3 food massing, like Dryad, Huntress. And Night Elf typically tends to have more expos and more units, so they'll benefit a little bit more. But I don't necessarily think that this quality of life change should be stopped just because there are balance changes. We should be aware of balance changes because of quality of life changes, but it can then be fixed on a balanced level. If we see, okay, Night Elf gains 3% power from the unit uncap, nerf them by 3%, and so on. We shouldn't be afraid of that just because it favors some races more than others. Final note is that my official position on this, officially, until proven otherwise, is that it would be permissible and interesting to raise the unit cap from 12 to 14, 16 or 18. I would like to test it, because although I think it would be okay, after testing it, I would figure out, okay, I like this, I don't like this, this is the pros and cons, and then we can all make a decision as a community. And I say we make a decision as a community because I think our feedback matters, and Blizzard should listen to the long-time Warcraft 3 players, because they're going to know the game better than new players. It is very likely that new players will be like, no unit cap please, and that's normal, and that's also a valid opinion. But there should be a little bit more weight behind the long-time players, in my opinion. And I think 12, 14, 16, 18 is okay. Yeah, uncapped I don't like for 2 reasons. People will play too poorly because of it. It lowers the level. And 2, you need paging. Page 1, page 2, page 3, because it doesn't all fit in the UI. One thing I also don't like is if you can have a different unit cap than me. Like, that doesn't make sense. Anyone will choose the maximum. Did Blizzard ever ask you to work for them, for example, in a balanced team? You seem slightly smarter than people who are actually working on it. No offense to them, but your knowledge is killing them. I know more about Warcraft 3, but one thing that I wouldn't say I didn't expect it, but I really didn't have much insight into it, is when I visited, there's a lot of very smart, balanced, knowledgeable people working there. And I think most of them are smarter than me, and I think all of them have studied more than me for programming, development, and so on. What I would be maybe more knowledgeable about right now is Warcraft 3 balance, but I offer that information to them freely. If I work for them, I can't stream anymore. Yeah, so I think it's nice that we can work together on that. And I'm just one small part of a big moving machine of different people giving feedback balance and so on. So yeah, sure, what happened with Elf? You know, what? Sure, they made Keeper happen, but you know, no excuse, true, but but I'm sure they'll fix it as soon as they have some time.